is standing on end just thinking about it. My hair is standing on end just thinking about it. My hair is standing on end just thinking about it. My hair is standing on end just thinking about it. My hair is standing on end just thinking about it. is standing on end just thinking about it. My hair is standing on end just thinking about it. My hair is standing on end just thinking about it. My hair is standing on end just thinking about it. My hair is standing on end just thinking about it. hair is standing on end just thinking about it. My hair is standing on end just thinking about it. My hair is standing on end just thinking about it.
There we go. Hey, Rose.
Hi, I'm so sorry.
No, no worries. I was having my own issues getting on.
Oh, really?
Yes. This is the beauty of live from Paris. Like you're literally coming out of like drug testing and stuff.
Yeah, and I mean, it was because we just had a game, and then we had I got pulled for that, and I really didn't expect it because it's like my second time getting drug tested in Paris.
Oh my god, that's crazy. That's crazy. It right out of the gate. Congrats on a really nice game.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, it was a great team win for us.
The you know how it is in the world of social and digital and live streaming. If we don't hook people within the first 10 seconds, we lose everyone. So we we got
You got to do it.
we got to get right into it. So I'll do a quick intro. You do a quick intro. My name is Bob Siosik. I'm founder of World's Greatest. We make content with amazing athletes like Rose. I can't wait to shoot with you soon. Um, and I'll toss it to you. Who are you and what do you do?
Okay, sounds good. Right now?
Yeah, we're ready.
Oh, okay. Yeah, sorry. I didn't realize we were getting straight into it.
We're going right in.
So like you say, I'm Rose Hollermann. I'm a four-time Paralympian. I won a gold in 2016 and a bronze in 2020, and I'm currently here in Paris competing. We just coming off of a win against the German team.
And you guys, I did notice, I kind of went through some highlights and some scoring and everything, and it looked like a really balanced effort.
Yeah, I think that's something really special about this team is that like you're going to see like 4 or 5 girls getting in the double figures and not really ever see someone in like heavy scoring unless someone gets extremely hot. And we would like to pass the ball around and kind of all of us be threats.
Rose, we're going back to back wheelchair basketball because yesterday we had Brian Bell on.
Oh, awesome. We love all the wheelchair basketball you can get.
Exactly, right? No, first of all, I've only seen wheelchair basketball in the Olympics, and two things that I really noticed. One is it's more physical than I remembered.
Okay.
Does it feel that way for you, that it's kind of a physical game?
Yeah, I mean, definitely. Like right now, coming off of the game, I can feel it in my body that there's a lot of contact. I mean, we always say it's a full contact sport. There's a lot of chair to chair contact. I mean, I think, a little bit different than able bodied basketball because you're meant to like actually stop someone's chair. So you're like getting metal on metal, and it's a pretty high like physical game.
Yeah, I mean, I do think right out of the gate, that's like the first thing that you really notice. But the second thing that I think is really cool is it feels like wheelchair basketball is like kind of smooth. And maybe it's a little bit like, I don't know, the shooting seems smoother. Like, I don't know. Maybe it's just because you're not up near the rim. So we're seeing actually the full float of the ball going up. And it just seems like a really smooth kind of flowing game, even though it's physical.
Oh, interesting. I've actually never heard that before. I mean, maybe it's like the way the chair moves because it like kind of glides around on the court. And like, I think like wheelchairs are so cool. I guess because I get around in one, I think that. But like where it's come, like in terms of technology, like the basketball chairs we're pushing in are a lot lighter than you think. Like they only weigh like 15, 20 pounds.
Really?
So they're pretty agile and can move really well. And like that's like you had Brian on, like he's a basketball player where like it feels like he's sitting in a chair, but he moves his chair so well that like it feels like he's running on his feet. And I think that's really cool.
I mean, I learned a lot from Brian yesterday, but why don't you take us through so fans can understand kind of some of the differences and what we should be looking for when we're watching you women play?
So like biggest questions we get asked as wheelchair basketball players is the hoop the same height, hoops the same height, keys the same like dimensions. The free throw line is the same distance from the basket. The 3-point line is the same distance from the basket. So like when you look at the basketball court, it's entirely the same as you see in able-bodied basketball. Big differences are like dribbling is something, there's no double dribble in wheelchair basketball. And traveling, what is a travel is like 2 touches to the wheels. So like sometimes you could see like someone barely moves and they'll get called for a travel because like you can't like twist your arm and like touch and readjust 3 times. That's a travel. But then you can see someone that will go the whole distance of the court without dribbling, but they take 1 push, and that's not a travel because it's all about how many times you touch your wheels.
It's amazing. And then the other thing that I learned is, so there's like a point system to all the athletes. So it's not really like there's a center and a forward and a guard, right? So explain that a little bit.
Yeah, so it goes from 1 to 4.5, which in all disability sports, the higher the point, the less disability. So 4.5s are minimal disability type people, like below the knee amputees or someone that has like pins in their hips or some like a minimal disabilities. And then 1s are your people that are like more disabled. They're like paralyzed from the waist down, have lower ab function. It's all about like the cylinders that you can move in when you're sitting in a chair. Goes from 1 to 4.5 and 0.5 increments. And I mean, you just get graded on how disabled you are.
Well, and then too, right? I mean, you have to have X number of kind of points on the court, right? So
yeah, so
it's kind of a cool rule.
Yeah, it is, and it makes it so it's super like accommodating to all disabilities. So you add up the 5 players on the point, you add up their classification, and it can't exceed 14 points.
Which it's got to be like a lot of strategy then, right?
Yeah. Well, and there's like I think classification is awesome. Disability sport. It's so useful and so accommodating to everyone. And another cool level that you don't see at the Paralympics about classification that you see in clubs is that a lot of us females play on male teams. And what they do then is you go down in classification so that like a lot of wheelchair basketball is actually outside of the Paralympics is a co-ed setting. Because like for example, when I play in the women's, I play as a 3.5, and then when I go play with the men's, I play as a 2.0. So it's kind of like a sport that like everyone can do because of this system.
That's so cool. And I asked Brian this a little bit, but I think it's worth asking again because I think in collegiate sports, like you can see the kind of system leading to kind of Olympic and world class athletes, professional athletes, through like the ranks of like you know grade school and high school and especially in college. And college then also supporting a lot of the Paralympic and Olympic athletes as well. Talk to
Hmm.
us about that a little bit about kind of how that grassroots support works so you can keep doing what you're doing at this level.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of our girls go to college in order to like keep playing ball. And like if you talk about grassroots, the NWBA is like our like umbrella in the US. And they're I mean, they have tons of teams. There's like no other country in the entire world has what the US has in terms of like juniors programs. They have 150 or more juniors teams within the US where like kids can go play and can find like a place to compete. And then also like you have like college where like you get to be a part of this like juniors program, and then you go into college and you get an education, but you also in basketball you learn like the fundamentals of the game. You have like your 5 days a week practices. I mean that's what funnels all of our like Paralympic athletes here.
First of all, sorry for the mistake that we made in the promos. You're a four-time Paralympian.
Yes.
I hate when we make mistakes like that. Yeah, we're just
Oh,
gonna we're just gonna skip that whole 4-year cycle that you put in. Yeah, it's just 3. Once you get past 2, it's all the same.
yeah. I was only 16 at my first, so it doesn't count, I guess.
Yeah, well, this is what I wanted to ask you, and I'm sure you get asked a lot, but I think it's so interesting. Like, you were right the youngest woman to make the national team. Is that right?
Yeah, but now we've had a girl that made it younger. We had Excel Gonzalez that's currently on our team. She made it. She was a little bit younger than me.
Darn it.
Yeah.
The record is broken. No, the so what was it like? What were you thinking? If you can think back to the first time you made the team, and then this time making the team, like what were you thinking that was maybe similar or different?
Well, the first time I went to like try out for a team, I like one almost didn't go to the tryout because apparently like I'm from the country and kind of like a small town vibe, and in order to get the tryout, you had to have an email address, which I didn't have at the time. I mean, it was 2011, not that long ago, but like not where it is today with technology. And so I had like a coach like pull me aside and be like, we got this email, you're going to go to tryout. And I went just aimlessly kind of thinking I was told I had to go, so I'm going, but there's no way I'm going to make this team. And then when I ended up making the team, I think I was in such shock that like immediately I was 15 years old. I had to like call my mom and get her to talk me through it because I was just like a little bit like shooken by the whole thing. And like now, I mean, always super grateful when you make a team, but it definitely changes. Like it's a bit more part of the process. Like you're always looking towards that gold medal at the end of the games or whatever competition you're going to, and the tryout process is part of the grand scheme process of things.
But that's like a wild progression, really, right? You're 15 years old to now. I mean, that is crazy. So we're still trying to get Tall into the show, but he might be having some problems. I don't see him here yet. So he may just pop in. So if he does, we'll just roll
Okay.
with that. In the meantime, so this is a segment that I do a lot. I don't know if you've seen any other episodes. If you have, we're like tipping people off to one of the questions that we ask. But I'm gonna get out my stopwatch for this one.
Oh
Okay.
gosh.
It's so I got the stopwatch ready. tell me your life story in 60 seconds. Ready? Go.
So I'm from small town Minnesota. Grew up with like three older brothers. Car accident in 2001, so it left me partially paralyzed from the waist down. Two of my brothers passed away in this accident as well. I ended up in rehab, finding wheelchair basketball, falling in love with it. I went to school at the University of Texas at Arlington because of the sport. Made my first national team in 2011. Been doing it ever since, and currently live in Germany because of wheelchair basketball.
All right. You're at.
I got a little bit of time. Wow, I have
You got some
actually,
time.
yeah, I can tell you guys some more.
All right.
I
Ready? I'm going to restart you. Ready? Go.
I always had bunnies growing up. I love crocheting and reading books. Feel like hobbies are important with someone's life. I have a brother still that has a farm where he breeds exotic birds and ducks and interesting things. Love being outside, and I guess I don't know. I have a degree in elementary teaching, and I'm going back to school to get a master's degree in special ed.
You actually, I think this is the winning score.
Of that was everything. I
That
couldn't
was
tell you
everything
more.
together. 50. So that's going to be hard to beat. So we've had like Chase Jackson. She was a minute 42.
Wow.
Chase just kept going, and then yesterday we had Brian was around. I think Brian was like 105. So, and then Nick Itkin, the fencer, was like at 47. So.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say,
closest.
I'm the closest to hitting. Okay, I was gonna say if I was the least amount of time, does that mean I'm just the most boring?
I'm doing a screenshot of this because this is so far you're leading. You're leading the lead at the moment.
At the closest to. I'm honored.
Closest to without going over the. So, talk to me a little bit, like as an athlete who's been doing this for a while and doing it at the top, an elite athlete in this space. What do you think it takes to be the greatest?
Oof. I think the mental side is the most important, and not even just like mental psych. I think it's more about like finding a way to be happy and not getting burnt out. I think that's where it gets you to being the greatest, like finding a way to remain passionate and loving the sport. Like I think that's the biggest thing I try to focus on, is like every day making sure I'm waking up and I'm doing something I love, and reminding myself that I love the sport and it's given me a lot. And I think that's probably what I think is the most important.
I think that's pretty cool. I mean, I saw something with Michael Phelps earlier today, actually, where he kind of used similar phrasing of this idea of waking up, knowing there's something that you're passionate about, but also he kind of touched on this idea of being happy, right? You're not always going to be happy. You're not always going to want to do what you're supposed to be doing, putting in the work, but it's during those times that if you can keep doing it, it can kind of get you to that, greatness level.
Yeah.
Sorry, I got tall trying to get on. Let's see. I'm just saying, okay, try again.
Oh, funny.
We'll probably be seeing him walking behind you in a minute, just like trying on his phone.
Yeah. Holler at him. Tell him to come over here.
It's funny because you think about you competing at the Paralympics for so many years, and like I try to tell people all the time, like think about this, like if you were the best school teacher, if you're the best third grade teacher in the world or in the top 10, that would be amazing, right?
Yeah.
Right. To make the Paralympics, right, is one thing. To make the team 4 times is another thing. To win 2 medals is another thing, right? So it's kind of rarefied air, and so I'm always trying to tell people why Paralympic and Olympic athletes are so amazing. And by the way, not everyone makes the team either. And those people are amazing too. So
yeah,
like talk a little bit about kind of the journey of it to get to the place to then be able to compete, to hopefully be on that medal stand.
Yeah, I mean, you talked about like the people that get cut. I think like wheelchair basketball is growing, and that's one of the toughest things. Like emotionally, being in a team sport, like we have 16 athletes that kind of like train and compete with us, and then when we decide the 4 athletes that don't get to come with us is really heartbreaking. And like they're like you say, phenomenal athletes as well. I mean, like the process of like training or
Uh, Go ahead. No, I mean, this is where I think there's on one hand, how do you keep going, right?
Mhm.
And on the other hand, sometimes it kind of, sometimes feels a little bit arbitrary of why didn't I make it and why did I make it, but talk about kind of some of that heartbreak and that the emotion, I guess, that surrounds that.
That surrounds all of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like for me personally, like I would say most of my heartbreak is kind of like being away from my family. Like lonely is probably the word that sometimes I feel in the sport more than anything. And like being an athlete, you sacrifice a lot. Like for myself, like I'm from Minnesota, but like 5 years ago I like moved over to Europe to be by myself, and because I knew that's what was best for the sport. I like moved over to join a club team, and I think like that is the hardest thing in the sport, is being like, I've now lived in Europe the last 5 years, so, and maybe someplace that I'll continue to live for some time just for the sport. And I think I mean, it's hard to be away from your family. And like sometimes I question, like, is it worth it to be like sacrificing being there for birthdays and like certain holidays and being away, and like those moments when I'm alone in my apartment, like dang, I could be home and be surrounded by family and friends and loved ones, but I'm here and I'm making the sacrifices. And I think, I mean, it's worth it at the end of the day, but that's like one of those moments as an athlete that you really feel it.
Yeah, Chase Jackson talked about that. She moved from, I think she was training in Chula Vista, and then moved to the UK, and she's just like it just wasn't working for me. It wasn't anybody's fault or anything. It just kind of wasn't working for me. But that's
Mm-hmm.
where she saw this like huge jump, like in her her performance, and she's like, I think a lot of it was kind of happiness. Like,
Like just being in a happy
yeah,
space.
yeah. And
Yeah,
but
for,
she talked about the same thing about being away from family and all that. She's close with her mom and her sister and stuff. So I mean, so you're in Germany right now, full time. That's where you're living and training and competing on club team.
yeah, so I like move back to the US for like a couple months during the summer just to try to, sorry, the lighting is bad. I'm
Yeah.
trying not to blind you too much.
If you come forward like that, it's perfect. It's right behind your head.
I'm sorry.
You look like you're a saint.
Okay. Yeah, it's glowing.
It's a glow.
Funny. Yeah, I know
Well,
but
talk about that a little bit, and then I want to actually talk about like, well, how's life in Germany?
uh, um yeah, I mean, I come back to the US just to train during the summer with the national team, which is then again hard because like now that I've been in Europe for so long, it feels a little bit more like home. I'm leaving my apartment. I'm like bringing a suitcase back with me to the US, staying in my parents' basement just so I can train. I mean, like moving around to different camps and stuff. The summertime can be challenging in its own. But I mean, life in Germany, like at first it was tough, but like now I've adjusted. Like my partner is now German, been with like a German guy for a long time. I think that makes it easier then. And I don't know. I love it. Like the lifestyle in Europe, like a little bit more slow paced, a little bit more like easygoing, I think the lifestyle is, which is nice.
And you're going to be eating some good bratwurst and stuff like that. I mean, that's just a given.
Yeah. Some good shawarma and
Yeah,
different things.
exactly. Exactly. The I want to talk a little bit about like this concept of kind of, some people are born with their disabilities, you are not, right?
Hmm.
and it wasn't the time period between that accident and you making that national team wasn't that long, really. Um, talk
Yeah.
to me about a little bit about kind of that journey and that kind of emotional journey.
So when I was injured, I was only 5. So I always like tell people that like the emotional journey of the accident probably wasn't mine. It was more my mother's. I think like if you're a mother and you have a child that is going through a disability. I mean, I was 5 years old. All my memories of being in the hospital are fuzzy, but they're happy. Like I don't remember really being sad about too much. And I think that like the struggle and the emotional side of things and like actually being able to realize what was going on to me, like my parents were the ones that had like that hardship. And I think like it was really good. My parents like both kind of took it on and they wanted to turn it into something good rather than like bask in their sorrow. And they ended up like finding a rehabilitation center in Minnesota that does a bunch of sports. And like they were given like, we're going to do therapy and you're going to do sports because that's what a doctor told us would be best for me. So I like very quickly I was injured in 2001 and I was playing like 5 or 6 different sports by 2004 at Courage
Wow.
Center. And I
Wow.
think like that was the best thing that could have been done for me when I was so young because then I found my community, I found sports, I was able to be active.
What do you think it is about sports that kind of, I don't know, is something. What does it bring to you? I'll let you answer it rather than me imposing my thoughts on it. What is it about sports?
I think like being as a child, for me at least, I think it was like feeling like I could run again. Like I was taking that away, and as a child that's something that you love so much, just running around. And when I was taken from like my day chair where I was getting around and put into a sports chair for the first time, like it was the first moment where like I can run again. It's like putting on running shoes for the first time in a long time. And like just as a child that's such a great feeling. And then you also like you're surrounded by a bunch of people that are just like you don't feel like anyone's judging you or anyone's pitying you, no one's trying to like help you figure out something. I thought that was like it's a group of people that you're doing something that has absolutely nothing to do with your disability, which is weird because wheelchair basketball, but that's how you feel.
Right. But that's cool. I mean, so you're kind of finding your tribe a little bit, you know, in a way through the disability. But sports is the kind of the vehicle to do it within.
To guide, yeah. I mean, it definitely like tribe is a great way. It's a community. I mean, it's like also resources. Like you figure you like someone that is trying to fight through the same and find solutions for the same day-to-day things as you, and they can help you out. Maybe they know like a trick about something that you don't know and you can like swap those back and forth. I think it's just like a great community outside of the sport to be a part of.
Let's talk basketball a little bit. Like, where does your love, like, what's the foundation of your love for basketball? Nobody does this for this many years, for this long, from so young to not so young, but older than you were. what, tell us about your love for basketball.
I mean, I think my love is for my teammates. Like I love getting to work with a group of people towards a common goal. And like I just think that's really beautiful, and like the social part of things is always incredible. It's hard not to love it, and I just think that like you meet so many great people in this sport. I think that that's what really keeps me loving it. And I like pushing around and crashing into things. I think it's fun. And that like we talked about it, that's a bit of what basketball is, and I just love like pushing hard. I think it's fun.
The what should we be looking for as viewers and fans, like when we're watching you guys compete in the next few days? Just as fans, how should we be viewing the game that we may not be realizing is happening?
I think like one of the most critical things that like viewers don't realize is like we talked about classification, are your lower class players, the work that they're doing. Like they're the people that are like maybe you see me cut through the lane and get the ball and like go up for a layup. But like what you don't see is on the offside, as soon as the defense shifted over, that player like got in the way and gave me a lane to be able to cut to. I think that's something like the picking and the sealing. We have like a thing called sealing in wheelchair basketball that I don't think you have in able-bodied basketball, which is basically where like a lower class player like just kind of like gets in the way of like the other players, and then a bigger player can get to the basket. I think that's something that like able-bodied people don't see tons, or like new viewers don't see when they're watching the game for the first time.
So part of that really is kind of keeping an eye, as a viewer, keeping an eye, not just following the basketball, but seeing kind of the court holistically and who's moving where.
Yeah, like seeing.
Go ahead.
Sorry, like seeing everything, because it is. I mean, really, in wheelchair basketball, like a lot of the movements are off ball,
which is
and then
like I have a saying when I was like coaching and little league and all that kind of stuff, where it's like you got to move your feet. Is there something similar in wheelchair basketball? Like you can't just be stagnant out there. Is there that flow where you kind of you have to be aware of the flow of what's going on, and you got to keep moving within it?
yeah, like wheelchair basketball can be a little bit complicated because like in able-bodied basketball, like you're kind of meant to like keep moving. Where wheelchair basketball, like there's very precise moments where like you have to sit. Sorry, saw a friend. In the village.
This is what I love about this. We're in the village. How close are you to where you're staying right now?
It like to like maybe 100 meters.
Oh, sweet. All right. So we're inside the village. This is cool.
Yeah.
So, by the way, have you had the muffin?
I have had the muffin.
And is it all it's cracked up to be, or do you need a lot of milk?
No, it is good. It's a good muffin. The rest of the food is suspect, but the muffin is good.
So this is the universal, like in the last live stream we did with the Olympians, everyone is just like, oh God, yeah, the food's there.
Yeah,
I was surprised. I'm like, Paris, come on. This is food lovers paradise.
Yeah, it should be. You would think.
Is it the same story? There's no AC, and how many people are in your little apartment?
So there's 6 of us in our apartment, and actually, so the U.S. brought us air conditioning and bed toppers, so the beds are comfortable and we have AC in our rooms.
That's one thing they learned through the previous 2 weeks.
Yeah, I think the Olympians had it too, though.
Did they? Okay.
Yeah, I think so.
How do you like the stadium, by the way? Is it a stadium that you've played in before, or is this a brand new stadium that they built?
I'm not sure if it's brand new, but I've never played in it before, and it is amazing. Like the way it's shaped, it makes you feel like you can feel the fans really well. Like it goes directly up, so you can feel the fans really well. But like a rare acoustic thing that is happening in it is like when we're on the court, we can actually hear each other.
Wow.
Which a lot of times, like in a big stadium, like you end up not being able to hear each other super well, but you can like really hear each other on the court, which is nice.
That's cool. So I want to ask, will you have any time to go watch any other events, or have you already?
Hopefully, no, I don't think we'll get to watch any events outside of wheelchair basketball, unfortunately.
In the games that you're in.
Yeah, well, if I have like a little bit of time to go watch any kind of sport, I'm gonna pick wheelchair basketball. So I'll probably end up going and watching like one of their games at some point outside of ours. Someone's game.
Are you doing that as a scouting someone else? Are you watching a friend, or are you just a wheelchair basketball junkie?
Like the last two more than the first one, probably. I don't go to games to scout. Go to enjoy it.
That's good. So I'm always curious. So one of the reasons, like early on, that I really got like obsessed with what we're doing at World's Greatest and all of you athletes is this concept of how you harness all the, skill, talent, athletic DNA, all that hard work, all that drive and passion, mental toughness. How do you harness all that uh, at that one moment, like on the biggest stage when you need it the most? How do you pull that together as an athlete?
I guess just preparation. I think like the moment doesn't feel big if you put the work in beforehand. I think as an athlete is something I feel. So like it's all done already. Like once the moment comes, like the work's behind me regardless. And hopefully like I've done the work and I feel confident that we have done the work to make ourselves successful when it comes around. But I mean, I think that helps me stay focused, just being confident and working hard and knowing that I'm working hard.
Yeah, that's something that Ryan Krauser said one time that we talked about kind of stress and nerves, and he's like I don't get nervous in an event because if I've done all the work and I'm honest with myself that I've put in
Mm-hmm.
all the work, uh, I'm just going to do the best I can do and just live with the result, Um, but
Yeah,
and you're kind of saying it in a similar way, I think. Yeah.
yeah, definitely like the same thing. I agree with that a lot.
The I have a few more questions. I'm going to try to keep to our hour long time or our time, even though we were a little bit late there. Just I know it's late over there. Um, Couple of things. If you couldn't play wheelchair basketball, so it's a two-part question.
Okay.
What other sport would you play that is you could use your wheelchair, and what other sport would you play that you could not use your wheelchair?
Um, oh, like one where I would have a disability and one where I wouldn't.
Yes.
Okay. I would, hmm. I think if I had a disability and could play wheelchair basketball, I would do rowing
Oh,
because I
interesting.
love the row machine. But if I didn't have a disability, I would play hockey because I'm from Minnesota and I'd have to. And I think I would be good at it.
Would you ever do sled hockey?
I did do sled hockey growing up and I really
You did.
enjoyed it.
I mean, that's another like really tough sport.
Yeah, and it's one that like because at certain points I tried to like when I first made the national team for wheelchair basketball, I tried to like also do sled hockey and it's just too physical of a sport to like pair with another physical sport. So it's just getting beat up all the time.
It's just, there's no break for recovery in that case.
Yeah.
And it's not like rowing is easy either.
Yeah, but at least it's not like contact.
Yeah, there's no right. I mean, if there's contact, something's gone wrong, basically.
Yeah, if you're getting hit by something, you're not doing something right. That,
That does seem like a sport that would be fun to do, rowing. But at the
hmm
same time, I don't know if I could take kind of that severe repetitive thing.
the
It's the same
yeah,
movement that you have to perfect. Like, I don't
and
know.
you have to do it an exhausting amount of times.
Yes. We were gonna feature. We just decided to feature some other athletes, but we're gonna feature some of the Olympic rowers in one of our series, and so we had done a lot of research on. Like, man, this is a really tough sport. So we did this series called The Science of Movement, where we broke down like 10 different um, Olympic sports, basically with a different athlete in each one, and I think in all of the shoots, I'd never shot gymnastics, and we shot with this guy Yule Moldauer. Yule's an amazing gymnast, and I came away from that shoot saying, gymnasts could be the greatest athletes in the world. Like the
Yeah,
speed, right? I mean, I don't know if you did gymnastics when you were young, or if
No,
seen gymnasts like they're doing the power, the speed, the agility, the body control, the
is
fearlessness. Yeah, it's just crazy.
yeah. We always do like the men gymnasts always end up training in Colorado Springs. Like periodically will be like there's a court that sometimes we'll train at where like we're training here and they're like right next to us training. And like I remember one time we had a practice and they were like going and like the next practice our coaches put the curtain down because we were all like, this is insane. Like getting distracted too much.
Well, the other thing that probably the curtain would prevent all that chalk from getting into your air zone.
Yeah, it is a bad combination. And then in wheels and stuff.
Yes. We walked into that gym to shoot, and I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, Yule, what's with all the chalk? He's like, yeah, we have a joke among gymnasts, cut our bodies open, and you'll just find two big chalk lumps in our lungs.
Wow, crazy. You.
Yeah, it's disgusting. So what do you do in Germany for fun? By the way, I'm curious. Like the move from Minnesota, such beautiful lakes, and you lived in a smaller town. I'm envisioning farms like your brothers. Um,
It's
what's
actually pretty similar
is it?
vibes. Like instead of lakes, there's hills and like a lot of outdoor activity. Like
What area? What's the closest kind of big city?
we're kind of close to Frankfurt.
Okay.
Like I think oh man, 45 kilometers. So what is that miles? It's terrible. I can't think.
I'm terrible at it too. So I'm gonna guess, I don't know, 65. I don't know. Is that
I,
close, you think?
yeah, sure. I maybe it's less than more. I don't know.
I don't. I think you're probably right.
Yeah.
So Rose, we only have like 10 minutes left. We've kind of like blown through this little short hour. I want to ask you though, what is the one question that nobody has asked you that you're like, if I was asking questions, I would always ask this to me? Is there one that's out there that's like, I've never told people about this, or they've never asked that?
Oh my gosh. Mm, I don't know. We get asked a lot of questions.
The
It,
what? Go ahead. Go ahead.
no,
The
I didn't have it.
Yeah. So give us the kind of upcoming schedule. So the next game is Sunday?
So no, tomorrow we
Tomorrow.
play the Dutch, who's going to be our toughest competition of the tournament.
Okay.
So that'll be
And
we play them at 6:15 Paris time. So what is that?
that's
11:15.
12:15 Eastern, yeah, 11:15 Central.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then we have a day off, and then I don't even know what day is today
I
of
know.
the week.
No, I'm the
It's a
same way because
Friday.
we're doing the live stream every day. So it's all I know is it's day 3 of the Paralympics. That's all I know.
Oh, that's great.
Yes, it's Friday the 30th for a few more hours. So you play again tomorrow. So you played today. You're playing again tomorrow. Is tomorrow still group play?
Yeah, and then we have one day off, and then our last group play game is on Monday
Okay.
against Japan,
Well, tomorrow
and
will
then
be
we'll
okay. Go ahead. Sorry.
no, and then we have another day off, and then like tournament play starts. Knockout stages begin
Got it.
next.
Got it. And tell us a little bit about kind of who you're saying the Dutch is going to be one of the tougher competitors. Um,
Hmm.
Give us a little preview. I want the inside scoop preview, the scouting report on the Dutch team, and kind of the U.S.'s strengths, weaknesses, and how the Dutch match up.
Well, I mean, the thing with the Dutch are good because I think they have the best player in the world. Her name is Mariska. She's like a big 4-0 girl, like super fast, super good at finishing. super strong, super physical. They have like another great pairing with her, like another girl that's also really tall, really physical, but like also they have like the best one pointer in the world. Like they have a one pointer who can be a really big scoring threat. Like she picks and seals really well, like we talked about, but then also like she finishes and she shoots from outside, and just like I think the most valuable point for point player in the entire world for women's. And I mean, she's just incredible. This one pointer girl is like kind of what makes them tick, because they can play like 1 point for someone, and then she's so valuable in the skill set that she brings. So then they can just kind of play whatever else
They can load
away
up
from
the
that.
other. Yeah, yeah.
Really like go heavy on the other points. But I mean, like the Dutch are big, like they're taller than us as a team. They're like a little bit more physical, but like in terms of like broad strength. But I think like we're a quicker, faster team. We play a lot of mids. We play like in wheelchair basketball, like they go high low in terms of like lineups that they run, where we go like mid range. So we play a lot of like 2s and 2-5s, and we have the best at that. We have like 3 girls that you could say are the top 3 in their classification in terms of 2s, and like we're just great shooters. We move the ball really well, find the open person, and take like if you're gonna play outside with us, you're not gonna win probably. In terms of the US, I think we're really good at shooting. So it's just gonna be like if we can keep them out of the key, and then we can like just find our open shots and hit them, I think we'll be successful.
So this potentially could be a preview of something down the road, right?
Yeah, I mean, typically like our last couple majors, like we've seen them in pool play, and then we see them in semis after. So I think like we're really anticipating that we'll end up seeing them again in this tournament.
The the time is perfect for everyone in the States to be tuning in as well. So
Yeah,
that'll be on Peacock as well.
yeah, I believe so. That should be on Peacock.
Okay. This has been amazing. I'm so happy, first of all, that you agreed to come on. This has been so much fun. I do want to wind it down because it's getting late, and you have a game tomorrow. You had a game today, and you have a game tomorrow. So
Thank you.
I feel lucky that you said yes to coming on. I really appreciate it. And so, a couple of things I want you to do some shout outs to people, brands that you want to be getting to sponsor you. Any shout outs that you want to do, go ahead and give us your shout outs.
Shout out Performex, my wheelchair brand. They took me on when I was young as a sponsored athlete, and they've given me the best chairs ever since. Shout out to like Purdue Global, who's like helping me get my master's degree now, and has also kind of taken me on as a sponsored athlete and given me a lot of help going into this games. Shout out to my mom and dad and my grandma, and of course the rest of my family. And sponsorships I love to crochet. If I could get like a yarn sponsorship, that would be amazing. So if you know anyone, send them my way.
All right, I want to hear, but what's the yarn that you use? Is there a yarn brand that we should be calling on? This sounds like a good opportunity. I like the idea of. I'm already having ideas with you and.
I wish I had a specific yarn brand, but I don't. It's my grandma on my dad's side was also obsessed with crocheting, so I use her yarn. She passed it down to me. It was like my
it's just like
my inheritance.
It's just like athletics. Crocheting was passed down. It's the same.
Yeah.
Those are some good shout outs. I like that, Rose. That was good.
Thanks.
So on our end, well, first of all, Rose, where can viewers follow you? Follow you on Instagram?
You follow me, yeah, Instagram at rholler54. It's definitely the best place to follow me.
Awesome. And but I did notice you're on TikTok as well.
Yes, but my TikTok game, which I'm reminded by my Gen Z teammates, is not very strong.
Hey, it's just about, it's about posting. We don't have to get too, creative.
Yeah.
Just post. I
Yeah, I
mean,
don't know how.
right now you just got to play basketball. So
Yeah.
the, I mean, on our end, you've seen our little ticker going down below. You can follow us on all the social platforms. We just launched our TikTok only about 45 days ago. It's doing
Oh,
pretty well though. So and so I do want to get some content going with you. So we have to have other conversation once we get through all this. Have another conversation to see how we can start collabing on some things. So you can find a lot of our content. I mean, most of it's on YouTube, but Vizio is also a new distribution partner as of about a month or so ago. So if you have a Vizio Smart TV, type in World's Greatest, you'll find our content. It's all free there. There's another platform called Curiosity Stream, and Curiosity Stream, it has like a lot of like science-y documentaries, super cool platform. They've featured our show, The Science of Movement, and have also gotten us onto Apple TV. So if you search The Science of Movement, you'll find that series there, and you'll also find it now on Prime Video. So that's all
oh,
through.
cool.
Yeah. So that series is super cool, and I want to give a big shout out to Hospital for Special Surgery, HSS. They were the sponsor of the show. We're hoping to do more work with them going into the Winter Olympics. I have a hunch Paralympics athletes are going to be part of the next wave. This is part of our intent to do the live stream show with you guys to begin to like set the stage as we move towards LA 2028. And
Perfect.
yeah, so those are all those shout outs. I think I've run out of shout outs. So Rose,
Awesome.
it was great chatting with you. And then good luck tomorrow. Definitely tuning in. What time again? Give us that time one more time. 6:15 Paris time,
Paris time,
which is
11:15 Central.
12:15 Eastern time, which goes to what? 9:15 Pacific time? Yeah.
Oh, it's a big difference.
I think we covered all the time zone. But everybody's awake during the time period. This should be a nice audience for this
Yeah, it's
matchup.
perfect. Saturday morning, watching a basketball game, drinking your coffee. Perfect.
That's what's happening in our household. All right, Rose.
Love that.
Thank you so much. Good luck, and we'll check in later if you guys bring home some hardware.
Awesome. Thank you. It was nice chatting with you.
All right. See ya. Bye.
Bye.